Okay, so the newspaper clippings happened here, then Purple Guy dies here, the puppet and Freddy were possessed here, and this kid either possesses no one or the mangle. Case closed.
I think your viewers are gonna want more of an explanation than that.
I know. Roll the intro. Hello interwebs, I'm Eric and welcome to TheLooneyTurtle. Game Theory finally created his long-awaited FNAF 4 theory, and might I say, he brought up an extremely valid point in saying that there are so many different ways that you can piece together this lore. I've been racking my brain over the past few weeks to try and figure out the exact history, as well as who some of the mystery characters are, especially the true identity of who Purple Guy is, but in the end, all I can say is that I don't know for sure. At the moment, I believe that Purple Guy is both Mike Schmidt and his alter ego, Fritz Smith.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
Well, two things really. First, let's look at one of the main appearances of Purple Guy. On his shirt, we can see what a lot of people have assumed to be a night guard badge, and he's holding a tool to mess with the animatronics. Who else do we know of that fits that description?
Mike and Fritz.
Exactly. They're both night guards who know how to tamper with the animatronics, as evidenced by their notice of termination. Even more, look at his name. I think that his true identity is Mike Schmidt because in FNAF 2, which should have taken place before this point, he goes by Fritz Smith, which could easily be a combination of the current night guard's name, Fritz Gerald, and a modified version of his last name, Schmidt. Since he messed with the animatronics on his first night, he probably didn't intend to be working there very long. And what better way to get away with tampering than to use a fake name?
But if he's Purple Guy, then how's he alive during FNAF 1?
That's the tricky part. In the FNAF 3 minigame, we see the Purple Guy die in a room that is hidden from the cameras as well as the animatronics. A detail that a lot of people overlook though is that this safe room was converted to an arcade rather than being sealed off.
Wait, why wouldn't they have sealed it off though?
I don't know, but the tape said that these rooms were being sealed off at most locations, leaving the possibility that it's being used during FNAF 1. Since it's invisible to the cameras as well as the animatronics, there isn't a whole lot of reason for it to be included in the game.
But the location still needs to be left to rot, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the 30 years leading up to Fazbear Fright seems like a fitting amount of time, doesn't it? Getting back to game theory though, since he inspired this video in the first place and...
Notice me, senpai!
He seems to be standing by his argument that this game would be impossible if it were the Bite of 87, but I still remain unconvinced.
Mostly due to the comments that he saw in his last Game Theory Was Wrong video.
Yeah, if you look at a very simplified visualization of the brain, you can see that the frontal lobe is commonly associated with inhibition, while the amygdala is commonly associated with fear. Then again, the brain is more complicated than that. Multiple segments interact to do anything, albeit memories, motor skills, or reactions. With a chunk of your brain missing, you could easily say that they no longer have the ability to fear, but since the brain isn't that simple, it's not easy to say which argument has more stability. Game Theory puts a lot of research into his videos, but he's also capable of making mistakes. Since neither of us are neuroscientists, I can't say which argument is more valid, so I'll just stick to the explanation I gave in my previous video. Lastly, let's talk about the puppet and Golden Freddy, because in order to say that this kid becomes one of them, there needs to be a motive, doesn't there?
Yeah, but that could just be the other kids getting killed by Purple Guy, couldn't it?
Well, yeah, but why would he be pursuing Purple Guy? This kid was killed accidentally by a group of bullies, one of which being his brother. If anyone, he should be coming back to kill them, but instead he's going after their killer?
Wait, who said that these kids were later killed by Purple Guy?
You just a moment ago, as well as everyone on Reddit making color correlations. But that's a good point. How do we know that these bullies, or at least those kids, are killed by Purple Guy? From what we're able to see in the ending, at least one of them, likely his brother, is alive and apologizing. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm sorry. While this kid could easily be put in one of the animatronics, I don't think that's the case because there's no reason for him to. Unless his brother is Purple Guy.
He could have been apologizing at the end because deep down, he liked it. He saw his own brother die and got a thrill out of it. So a few years down the line, he tried again. Then to satisfy his thirst for blood, he got a job and started dressing in one of those wretched suits to kill more children and get the same rush of adrenaline that he got after killing his own brother.
That's impossible.
Yeah, I know. We see Purple Guy in this game, so unless there's two, which might be the case, it's not a huge possibility. Going back though, it seems strange for this kid to become an animatronic unless he's a victim of Purple Guy. But at the same time, these two animatronics have to have been possessed by someone, right? Well, let's look at the Save Them minigames. We see Fredbear.
No, that's Freddy.
What?
Look at the hat and fur color. He's Freddy.
I'm curious of the order of these minigames. It's hard to deny that this animatronic is Freddy, and from what I've been able to see, this is most likely the first. It could have taken place at the diner, but since most of these minigames take place at the FNAF 1 location, let's see how it plays out at the FNAF 1 location. This killing took place outside of the restaurant, meaning that it's likely his first killing around the FNAF locations. It could also be early in the pizzeria's history when Freddy is one of the only animatronics that can give cake to the children. That, or Chica's with Foxy, and Bonnie's making a butt out of himself. What we know for sure is that a kid is killed outside of an establishment and could have later possessed the puppet, seeing how that jump scare happens afterwards.
But the puppet wasn't in the FNAF 1 location, was he?
He was at that location, as we see between nights in FNAF 3. Since Bonnie's face is torn off in FNAF 2, this minigame had to have taken place before or after 1987. I believe that it happened before. A kid gets killed in front of the location and becomes the puppet. Purple Guy then kills 5 more children, as we see in the Foxy Run 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 minigame. Then the puppet stuffs the children into the suits.
Wait, what happened to the other kid?
What happened to Purple Guy?
I don't know.
For me, the logical answer is that Purple Guy carried one of the children out of the pizzeria, the puppet then stuffs the remaining kids into the suits, and the restless spirit whose body is no longer in the restaurant possesses Golden Freddy. Then Purple Guy gets a job at the FNAF 4 location explaining this minigame Easter egg. That way, both of the animatronics are accounted for without the inclusion of the FNAF 4 kid. Also, wasn't this kid laid to rest already? Getting bullied by a group of kids until a life-altering accident occurs. Then as he's laying on his deathbed, his brother apologizes with what can be interpreted as deep regret. This kid could easily be floating in the clouds, while in the Happiest Day minigame we see the 11 victims of Purple Guy, 6 at the FNAF 1 location who possess the animatronics, and 5 who are unable to pass on or possess an animatronic since there isn't any more of them around. It would have been great to see all of these kids around when Purple Guy bites the dust, but I guess most of them sat in purgatory until the main team handled the situation, at which point they all celebrate and fly into the clouds. But that's just my thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, then consider becoming a Patreon today. Also, feel free to like, favorite, subscribe, and make sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.